This is the perk of Unity over Unreal. Unity is the fastest tool to produce prototypes.
What are you super excited about? That's what I go for.
Okay, so I'm about to go to GDC. There's already people lined up outside, apparently.
What's GDC for people who don't know?
Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, California. It's one of the biggest game conferences in the world, and they do lots of cool stuff. Last time I went, they unveiled Unreal Engine, which I don't know if you guys know, but Unreal is like way better than most other engines.
That's what a lot of games are built on, right?
Yeah. Unreal has an integrated lighting system that is far more performant than anything else, far more versatile, and it's also just amazing looking.
Okay.
Conversely, in other game engines, like in Unity, you have a lot of control over various camera effects, like bloom and a vignette and depth of field.
Whoa, slow down. What's bloom?
Bloom is like, okay, if you look at my hand and you shine a light on it, the light doesn't just stop. That's not how light works, man. Light likes to move around, likes to bounce. Yeah. So there's a blur effect that occurs at the edge of objects, and it sort of blurs the color, and that's called bloom.
Okay.
Depth of field is when you've got a camera and the farther away from your focal point, the more blurry it gets, closer or farther.
So like portraits where the things in the background are super fuzzy.
If you want a fancy portrait, do it with depth of field. Just don't even think about it. Just do depth of field. You'll be like, what?
Okay, so you can do that in Unreal. What else can you do?
Well, you can do that in Unity as well.
Okay.
In Unity, you actually have a lot of control over that. But in Unreal, it comes with a lot of that already prepared for you, and it's also more performant.
So when you say it's more performant, that means it's easier to program in, or when people are playing it, they can play it on slower machines?
Correct, yes.
Yeah?
You can play it on slower machines, and you can do more with it as a result. So, for example, in Unity, you cannot do this. In Unreal, you can. In Unreal, you can create a particle system with 1 million particles that each have their own light source using GPU rendering, because you can selectively tell the GPU to process specifically this system. In Unity, you can't really do that. You don't have that level of control.
I can see how that sounds super cool. When would you use that?
Vector field. Okay, a vector field is like, imagine 1 million points in a cube.
Okay.
And each of those points has a direction applied to it. And it can be made to look like wind, so that there's like smoke sort of dissipating, or it can be converted into a direction or a shape or something like this. If you want to make a vector field, Unity recently added systems for making vector fields, but in Unreal it's somewhat more of a standard effect, whereas in Unity, in order to produce the vector field itself, you almost have to download proprietary software to make it conveniently.
Okay. So Unreal just has everything built in. They probably used Unity and were like, okay, we're missing this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
Let's add everything people want.
It's that. So like Cascade is Unreal Engine's particle system. Unity uses Shuriken, and Shuriken is amazing. I love Shuriken. It lets you do so much, and you have so much control over the number of particles and what direction they go. And yes, you can do vector fields, but you don't set as many rules per particle. In Unreal, you're given a huge system which you can add components and remove components, and you have more options, basically. As an independent developer, Unity is the fastest tool to produce prototypes. So I want to show my portfolio has diversity, and I want to also make my portfolio have diversity because it helps me become a better developer. So Unity is good for fast production, and it also is quality production. And it also makes it really easy to develop in VR. If you know how to develop in Unity, you know how to develop VR.
So just to reiterate that, if you wanted to have a super polished game with all the right light effects and bend and vignette, you'd use Unreal for something you'd sell to the consumer.
Absolutely.
But since you're trying to tell a bunch of different stories, show different stuff,
Experiment,
you're using Unity.
Absolutely.
Okay, way faster.
Way faster. Unity will produce more products faster, and Unreal is much, much better for producing polished work. And it's also better for larger teams. If you want to make a AAA game, you'll probably want to move to Unreal.
What does AAA stand for?
I don't know.
Is that like box office?
Yeah, is the industry term for box office.
Versus like indie, you'd want to use Unity and it wouldn't really matter?
Yeah.
So for all the people out here who want to learn how to make games, where do they get started?
Okay, I'm just one person. I have a nice path to describe.
His opinion does matter.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My dad introduced me to Game Maker when I was 6 years old. Game Maker is a component-driven system where you drag and drop components and enter very simple values. You need no coding knowledge, but it uses the principles of coding to make things happen on the screen. It's perfect for kids. I started with that. I moved to Unity, and I worked for a long time in Unity, and then I worked professionally in Unity. And then I came back here, and I started a company, and now we're moving to Unreal.
So you told me your dad introduced you to Game Engine when you were like 6?
Yes.
When did you move to Unity?
That was after college.
Okay.
Yeah, so Unity is a much more recent development.
I don't know the range of people who are watching this, but how much experience would you need in order to jump to something like Unity? 1 year, 2 years, 17 years?
One of the best things about Unity is it's easy to learn, and it's designed to be easy to learn. So honestly, you can learn it in a week. If you dedicate yourself, you can do it in a week or less, because the entire UI, the entire framework is built around making things quickly.